Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the stream. And this time it's not just me; other people are here. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going? How are you guys doing? It's Thursday again, that favorite time where we stream for a bit.
Yeah, no, it's going good. Yeah, for us it's been 2 weeks since we've had a stream.
I know. Last week went well though. I think people seem
Yeah.
to like it.
Yeah, it was a nice one. It was a good, interesting stream about what we might be doing in a few months, and if not, a pretty cool 3D project thing you were working on.
Yeah. I'm wondering whether or not I'll show more of that here. I don't know. I guess we'll see what people think, and if I make anything that's like notably so different that it warrants another like showing of it, or if enough people just ask. But that's probably going to be, at least for a little bit, as much as we'll show of it here. I mean, I don't know, right? Because there's one thing that's like I wanted to work on like the water shader and do all of that stuff, and I might still do that, but there's like the I mentioned it last time, but I use a nice man called Elliot's shader for doing the like pixelization and outline stuff for that prototype, and that shader has an issue, like a known bug. Like I reported it, and it's been recognized, and it will be fixed. And once that is fixed, then I'll be able to make fun and fancy water without breaking the depth texture. I don't want to get too technical, but basically there's a bug. It's going to be fixed, but when it's fixed, I can be able to do some real fancy things. And when I can do that, it might then be worth showing again, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm just glad that people saw it and thought it was cool. But what have you guys been up to in the weeks that you've been away?
I would say moved, but travelled is a better term. So I wasn't here last week because I was travelling across from France to Britain.
Mm-hmm.
So I am not at home. Quite exciting.
Nice.
But other than that, from the project point of view, Act 3 is now kind of finished. There's a few things missing here and there, but the bulk of it is done.
Oh man, I've been like playing through the game today, and it's so good.
Both of us. Yeah, we were both playing through. I got to Act 3 and then realized that I'd set things up badly, and so I couldn't play it. But it was an easy fix. Where I just had set the wrong like scripted objects in the wrong places. But it was a very easy fix. But it does mean that like currently Act 3 is somewhat untested, but it's going to be good. I'm excited to go into it because Act 2 really is quite nice when you finish it. You feel quite rewarded.
I'm like halfway through Act 2 on my playthrough, and I feel like it's ramping. I feel like my power is growing. I've got my guys now. I feel like I've had a few good levels. I'm really enjoying it. And what's really cool is to see our different play styles. Like you play completely differently to the way I do it, and that's really cool to see. So
I don't like repeating quests that much. Like I don't want to go back and do stuff. And I also quite like having all my characters be roughly the same level. So I'll always try and like, if I see that one character is lower level, I'll usually take them to try to make them keep up with the rest of the party kind of thing.
Whereas I think I have like my 3 guys, and I'm like, yeah, these are my party. I want to bring them with me the entire trip, and that has its ups and downs. Sometimes I do swap out one member every now and then, but like, I don't know. I like once you get past level 10, you get these features that they have. Like each party member has their own special thing that they can do, and there are some of them that I'm like, I don't want to, like, that feature is so good, like, for my playstyle, I don't want to, like, remove them and replace them with somebody else. I feel like I'm betraying them. But
I have a soft spot for Axel's feature, as it's basically just crits, and I have a soft spot for crits. What can I say?
Honestly, me too. Axel's crits are so nice because it's like you're going through and it's like a hard boss, and you're like, oh no, I might have to spend another potion, and then bam, they just crit it for 300 damage, and you're like, let's go. It's perfect. So like when you get those crits, they feel so good as well.
Yeah.
I can't wait for people to try it out.
Yeah.
But and I really want to see some of the other characters, because obviously I haven't actually got like, I've in isolation tried them, but not like properly tried like some of the like Goyra definitely is one of them. I've not even tried. I've tried Baya. I want to.
Baya and Dyron are. I made them like today.
Yeah, so I haven't tried either of those, but I really I know what their abilities are, and I think they could be pretty fun.
Yeah, their abilities are quite fun, and they have like I've tried when I've made a lot of these characters to make them unique in some way, but when you have 9 characters and 3 stats, it can be quite hard to find unique ways of making them unique.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got some interesting stuff there. I've done some fun things, I think, and then obviously there's the traits which are very much unique, and I'm quite happy with.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've got a bunch of spreadsheets to try and like balance these characters. I've made like a rating system so I can like try and make sure that everybody's roughly balanced with each other, and I've done something similar for all the hostiles and all the ingredients that you can get, just to make sure that you're getting the right things at the right times, and that things are not too hard or not too or don't give you too much XP or too little, things like that. It's been quite fun. It's been a nice design challenge.
Like the other thing that I find that I do that you tend not to do is I like to go back and farm up like the potions I like. There's a few spots.
You're so rich compared to me.
Yeah, but you're like, I have no gold, and I'm like, yeah, I've got like 5,000 gold at the moment.
It does go down quickly, mustn't it? 5,000
it does.
Sounds like a lot, but it vanishes if you want it to.
Yeah, when you're like you can hold control and click, and it'll just like buy out the entire stock of a particular ingredient. And like when you just like buy out like 5 or 6 things, that can be really expensive. That can be like nearly 1,000 gold in just that. So you got to be careful.
Yeah,
and the ingredients are very expensive, true. But I'll tell you what, I don't ever regret buying a top hat, even though it's expensive. You got to do it. It's
you
like
gotta do it. I agree.
When you have that option, there's a witch hat in the game that I'm currently wearing. It's a slightly bugged though, so it needs to be fixed. But it looks.
On stream.
Actually, yeah, well.
There's a few. I mean, the reason we play through obviously is to, play test it, check that there's no big problems or anything like that. And so I have got quite a long list of things that we need to like take a look at and either fix or add or things like that, or just tweak in some ways. But yes, this hat bug is quite funny, I find. I'm not entirely sure how it's happened, but yeah.
Okay. So my current save is this one. Okay. And I think I can do it through here. There you go. Here's the witch hat that I currently have. You can see that like the back of the hat kind of clips through the head here, which is not great. But once that's fixed, I think it'll be pretty cool. And this is the top hat, which is very cute. But I like the witch hats are just so neat.
I also like the slime hat. The slime hat's just nice.
The slime hat is very nice. The slime hat's just very cute. Am I insane for thinking it's animated? It is animated, isn't it? Okay, yeah, cool.
No,
it's like
you're insane. It doesn't move.
It's just in my head. Okay, that's good. I don't know. I just kind of enjoy it. I think it's kind of fun. But yeah, how are you doing, Lydia? How was your weeks out? I feel like you've been very quiet.
I'm gonna be so real with you. I can't remember last week at all.
You can't remember the last week?
I cannot remember last week.
Oh no.
I don't know any specifics. Where am I?
That's a mood. Fair enough.
I've been doing art stuff that I don't know if I can talk about. I've been doing more Outpost art stuff as well, which has been
Oh
fun.
yeah, we saw the Outpost
Yeah.
short. That's been released the other day. So you've seen
Mhm.
some of the new Outpost characters.
I've been doing the some of the additional little art pieces for the games that you can find there for the optional stuff. So that's all fun.
Yeah,
Oh,
let me
yeah.
see. Let me see if I can pull those up.
I must admit, I'm very
one
excited to
second.
see what story you guys have come up with for Act 3, because, sorry, for the Outpost. Because
Oh.
I don't really know that much. Like, I know vaguely, because there's a little bit that ties into the main story, and there's a little bit, like, I've seen the art for, like, some of the characters, but I don't know anything else, so for me, it's looking, you know, I'm
Don't
excited
worry,
to see
Matthew.
what's happening.
We put your one requirement in. It's
Mm,
there.
There is
yeah,
definitely jellyfish.
there's definitely going to be a jellyfish, indeed.
Okay. Here is a low resolution screenshot of some of, but not all of, the Outpost characters. Here you go. Hold on. Bam. There you go. So we've got like a bunch of these little guys who've been working on, and each one of these have their own story bits, which is why like I was trying to figure out like how much like what it felt like, but adding all the little side characters and stuff wasn't like an act in itself. And I might tweak one character still, but I'm feeling pretty much sorted with especially the early ones. I think they're pretty much done now. But each outpost has up to 3 people there, depending on what you've done. And some of them will do like, you know, they can help you. Like for example, this guy over here with the red hat. They're quite knowledgeable, and they can tell you a few little hints that will greatly assist you if you're struggling early on. Whereas some people, or like if you engage with them and complete their little side quests, will get you to like secret bosses and all kinds of weird things. But we'll have some secret hats. We'll have some odd things out there. I think it's gonna be really cool. I really look forward to it.
Yeah.
And that actually does remind me, in the game, I need to go and claim a bounty reward that I haven't claimed. So I might do that. I don't. How's the current outposts in the game looking in this demo? Because I'm playing like a really weird version of them. Because like this is like, what is this?
I mean, it's a much later version. It's version 0.3.5, I think, the one you're playing.
Yeah.
So it's I changed up the once we finished mostly finished Act 3. I changed up the second number. Went
Yeah.
from 0.2 point something to 0.3.
I know, very exciting.
Big steps. But the outposts haven't changed that much. I've added. I've changed a little bit, but honestly, right now it's still like it's pretty much what it used to be. It's very very small changes. I need to really spend a day looking at the outposts and going through and making sure that like I'm changing it the way it's supposed to be.
Once
I've
I
kind of been
finish,
putting it off a bit.
when I finish my playthrough, I think I might do that. Just like go and look at the outposts and fix them. But you can
Yeah.
kind of see that this is like some of the background stuff, and you can see there's like going to be buttons and things over here instead of like in the middle. Like we're gonna try like put them into the terrain and things. And like this is like the new front for the outpost. It's gonna be cool. But my bounty board collection, I should have some money. I'm gonna claim those. But yeah, I think it's coming along. I'm pretty happy with it. I think a lot of the artwork I've seen have been really cool. I've been really, oh my god, a pink sheep. Sorry, that's really low
You found
chat.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, look, there's a
I think
pink
that's the
sheep.
second
Yeah.
pink sheep that says ever been found.
It's like one in a silly. That's an
It's a silly
extreme.
number.
It's a silly number. The odd of that
I
appearing.
tell you what, Luke. An hour from now, that could have been a mirror.
Ah, it could have been. Could have been.
All of your luck is gone now.
No.
No.
Well, the pink sheep was better anyway.
Have we
Pictures is
shown features off on the stream? I assume we have, but if not, we can just like go in here real quick. So
Oh,
the-
does it show the traits?
Yeah, or just like at least show off like what we mean, right? So let's look at like Renna, for example. So Renna is like they gain after level 10 they gain this feature, right, which is this bottom thing here. And effective healing is Renna's trait, and that makes health potions or potions with the health tag 50% more effective. So you can see like this potion, health potion has the health tag underneath it, and so does the health potion, unsurprisingly. But that just means like if you have Renna as one of your chosen 3 units, it just is like, it makes every health potion so juiced up. It's lovely. But then Axel, for example, which is one of the characters that you get at the very end of the first act, has fatal blows, and that has a 10% chance to deal like a critical hit and deal double your damage as a result. And that it just feels so good. And there's like a special effect that appears. I wonder, should I try and show it?
You can try if you want.
I'll try and fish one out. So we'll just let it play out. We are like way over level for this area.
Yeah, you're gonna clear everything in one hit.
I'm gonna kill everything except for this jackal, apparently. Okay, I'm hoping that maybe we see it here. Nope. Okay. we were asking for too much. Maybe if we try again,
I mean, it's a 10% chance. It's a relatively rare thing, but
it's that kind of thing where like when it happens, you definitely notice. Oh, I think they're having stage fright, because we mentioned it, but also because these guys are dying so fast to us, we haven't. Well, like you're not gonna see it, but when you're in like if we were fighting at our level, there you go. There's like a massive crit. There's also no music, but it like slows the music down slightly and replays it. But we already have like game music playing, so I muted the actual game. But there you go. So they have those things, and you see like the crazy damage and thing you can pull from that. I love Axel. I think they're great. And there are a few other characters. I mean, all of the characters have their own traits, and I believe they get a second trait as well when they reach level 20. So it's like one at like level 10, and then another one at level 20.
Currently that's how it goes. There was a vague thought of maybe trying to like give them either a second trait at level 15 or like having an improvement on their first trait at level 15, but
I don't think it's needed, right?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the conclusion we came to, is that it just wasn't felt kind of, it wasn't needed. The trait was good. They're good on their own kind of thing.
New clouds, by the way, for those who get up the cloud lore.
yeah, I'm no longer complaining about them. It's great.
No longer complaining about the clouds.
You can just see the difference between when I do them and then when they do them.
Oh, I liked your clouds, Matthew. They weren't so bad.
They weren't terrible in fairness, but I do like these clouds. I think they are an improvement.
I think these are better, without any hesitation. But yeah. Actually, Luke, can you do something for me?
Possibly.
There's a really, really weird bug in the map scene, which annoys me slightly, but it's kind of funny. So put your mouse over your little Chul, the monster that then press on pause, like press escape, sorry, but keep your mouse over them.
Yeah, I can see that being a problem.
Yeah, you can see that now if you try and press on settings or wherever the button
I think
is,
that might actually also be an issue with
It might be an issue with the sheep, though I haven't managed to get it with the sheep.
Oh no, it doesn't block the go button. Okay, that's good.
No, it doesn't block the go button.
The hearts do appear over the top of that. That's less problematic.
I'm not entirely sure why it happens, but it does.
Oh no, no, it is a problem with the go button as well if you get it right.
Oh, if it happens with the go button too, damn it. Oh well.
Yeah, we will have to fix that. We'll also be. Yeah, I think it might be the same with the sheep as well. Settings.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, we love the settings. Love them.
Yeah, we love the go button too.
No, go button was great. Without the go button, no quests. It'd be really cool. just as a side note, if you press space whilst you're hovering over a node like this, that it just automatically presses go for you. Just so that way I can not use my mouse.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I don't know why, but maybe laziness, but I think that would be a good idea.
That's a good thing to do.
But yeah, no, I love the little sheep. I love that they're currently frozen until I walk up here. We need to increase their range a little bit. The poor guys are paralyzed.
Why are they? They shouldn't be paralyzed this close.
It's because
Or is it just? Ooh, okay, well that's a bug that we have to fix.
That's weird, isn't it?
You should go to the very right of the map
Okay.
and show the bug with the scroll that goes above the screen.
Oh yeah, it's showing off all of the bugs. I promise the game is actually coming along really nicely, but we'll show where it's completely broken first. I love
These are all the bugs that I've seen and been like, this is going to take more than a line of code to fix. So later.
Oh yeah, this one. So like when you're zoomed in, you know, you come over here, it's fine. But when you zoom out, it is more problematic. It just cuts the top off. But that's like, you know, that's not too crazy of a bug. It's just an annoying one, if anything.
Yeah.
What I don't like, and I think this could be counted as a bug, is that when you click on the snails, there's no love hearts, and that is truly sad.
That is.
No
really
love
sad,
for the
very
snails.
No love for the snails.
And we had a squelch sound effect when you pet the snails.
That would be good. We need a little like bear noise for when you click on the sheep.
Oh, that's so cute.
But yes. Hell yeah. What's the plan then? Because we have obviously very soon got beta stuff in the works, right? So we're going to make, I think we're gonna make a thing in our Discord for people who want to help us test stuff and find all of the city bugs. And then people who are in the Discord can sign up for that at some point, and then we'll distribute out like a beta version to those people to help us test it. And then in almost a month from now, we'll be ready to release, I think. In theory.
Yeah, in theory.
In theory.
We're releasing in about a month, maybe a month later.
You sound confident, and I like that.
Yeah, always.
No, I mean, like, this game a month ago is very different, you know?
No, don't get me wrong.
Plus 1 month from now, we'll either be extremely panicked, or, you know, very laid back and relaxed, you know?
I predict we'll be very happy.
Yeah, very laid back and relaxed, as close to release always is.
Yeah, you know? Super chill time. No,
I'm also going to be on like other side of the world, which is going to be.
That's really gonna be, yeah.
I really chose a good timing to decide.
Yeah, that is true. You have aligned being in like the other side of the world from us at the point most critical. But
Why can't we can go 24 around the clock? You know, we can always somebody.
Oh,
always goes
true.
on,
The Gilded Rune Games never sleeps or something. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's almost true anyway. Just because my sleep schedule is so scuffed. But okay, hell yeah. I mean, honestly, it won't be that bad, you know.
No, I think. I'm a little worried that we won't finish on time, but to be fair, it isn't that much.
It's a lot of little things that'll get you.
Yeah.
We'll be right there, and all of a sudden a single hat will like break something, and it's like, oh fuck. We gotta do that, or it's like, oh, we forgot to make leaves for this region.
If it's a bug as simple as like this hat like issue, that's like the problem, like the only problems left in a month, I consider that like a solid victory, you know. Because we can fix that so easily.
Yeah, that is like 2 seconds. But I think I agree with Lydia. There's going to be quite a few of those problems which are just. It takes, you know, whenever I play for the game, I always have a big list of things to change, and so it's like most of them are done in like 2 seconds. But then every so often there's one that's like, this one's a pain, or like, this one requires art. Damn it, sorry, Lydia.
By the way,
Crack it out.
I've had a few thoughts about this map scene. Okay.
Go on.
Actually, you know what? Never mind. I take it back. I've had no thoughts about the map scene. Never mind. I was gonna say we could use GPU instancing to like basically like all of the trees and all of the like little grass bits. We could like instance those so that they would basically like the performance would massively increase in this scene. I don't know if that's still an issue, but if it is, then that would like just remove it entirely. But the downside is obviously we have collision, and if you instance it on the GPU, then you can't do collision.
Well, I mean, collision is mostly done by big colliders anyway, so. Well, actually, except for the wiggling of the.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? So like the wiggling of stuff would be slightly harder. It wouldn't be impossible to do, but
we could do. I mean, I don't know how required or plausible this is, but we could do like for all the leaves and stuff that are within like in the center of the forest or like in places that the player can never access. Then we could do some there like that.
That is a good idea.
The filler stuff is good.
Yeah, all of like, for example, all the trees in the middle here. We could GPU. Yeah. Okay, that's actually something we should do because that'll just be a nice optimization. Because the way it works is that you give it the mesh effectively along with the material, right? And then it handles everything abstracted away for you. But obviously that means you can't pass any information to stuff because they aren't really real. Like for example, all of these little twigs and things, we could definitely cheat and make those vanish. But yeah, there you go. That's just the idea. But exciting. I'm also very excited for unrelated reasons because the Path of Exile League thing is starting soon. Guys, I'm very excited about it. I'm going to be playing it.
Before we get too ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
So coming back to before we get to Path, that's 20 minutes away. 20 minutes. Before we get to Path, for the beta, I think I'm hoping. So we're going to have a build soon to let people test, and that's probably going to be available. I would say probably on Monday, if I'm not being too hopeful. I think we have to properly discuss within us like how much of the game there'll be, because there'll definitely be more than a demo, because we want to test as much as possible. But equally, we might want to keep some of it still a secret. And yeah, there'll be things missing because the game's not finished. But if you're excited for that, join our Discord and we'll let you know soon. It'll be sometime either tomorrow or next week, I think. I think I'm fair to say that.
Oh. Okay, sorry, I'm being fed information. Okay. I'm saying some stuff up at the same time. Ignore me. Continue with the beta thing. I am pretty excited. I think for that beta, it might be an idea that we maybe make a few different versions of like just Act 2 or have some like presets so you can jump to various points in the game so people can choose which part they test. But I don't know. Actually, here's a discussion I'd like to talk about. What do we do with the demo of the game? Because right now we have a free demo on our Steam page that anybody can play. But the problem with that demo is that it is super outdated. It's like really old. By like several major releases, like out of date. And so now I feel like it's more of a detriment to keep it there than it is to just leave it, because I feel like it's got so many. It's like missing so much quality of life stuff, and it has so many old bugs and things in it. Like I don't know what we should do, right? Because we have two options. One, we could try and update the demo like in such a way that it's the same length, like same amount of content, but just using the latest version, and then we could still keep a free demo there. But it would require, having to go and do that again, and like make that. Or two, we could just remove the demo and then people can try it. Because there's a lot of talk about whether or not demos are actually good or bad, right? Because like some classical reasons against demos is that it forces it gives people a chance to play and decide that they don't want to play. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's one of the reasons why on our previous projects, since we released, we removed the demos, right? It was a mixture of it's outdated and it would be quite a lot of effort to re-update them to the current builds, and a mixture of also we're not sure it's a good idea in terms of you might get slightly more eyes on your project, but if that translates in less people actually buying your project, then is it worth it, from a financial point of view? I quite like the idea of keeping it, but I do think we should update it. It is, as you say, massively outdated. But I don't know. It's an interesting question because I think for this game, the hope is that the demo, if it's been updated, right, it shows enough of the game for people to be interested and want to play more.
Yeah.
But not enough for people to be satiated and be like, oh yeah, okay, that's good enough, and then leave, right? So I think it probably is a good one to keep the demo, but I don't know. Yeah.
I think I agree with you. If we have the time to do it, I think it's one of those things that we should definitely keep.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. I was actually planning on trying to see if I could make one relatively soon anyway. Like when we make the beta, I might just see how easy it is to make we update the demo. Because a lot of the things in the game, if I put the hashtag, if I put the whatever it's called, the basically if I build it with the demo settings, most of the things should be set to the demo settings and it should just kind of work. But there might be some things like the outposts which they're not done yet that we don't want in the demo, or maybe we don't want. Basically, maybe there's gonna be a few other tweaks, and there might be certain things that might break as we haven't done that in forever. So it might be very simple, but it might also have a few more issues. So I might give it a crack because it could be like an hour and then it's done kind of thing. So that's probably a bit helpful.
I think other things that we need to do, probably as the beta draws closer to an end, is consider making another trailer. If we're going to update the demo, I think a new trailer is probably a really good idea. Because the game, from a visual standpoint, Lydia's done an amazing job of making that look really, really good.
Yeah, the game has changed so much since we made the first trailer that there's so much more to show now. There's so much more to trailerize.
Yeah.
in a sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely should make. I mean, a new trailer is a must.
Yeah.
Before we release.
Agreed.
It's just time and effort. It's hard to do, hard to find time for. But yeah, we will do one. That's for sure.
Awesome. The Path event has not begun, but it's open. I'm now waiting in the queue. You can see on the stream, I'm passed out on the beach. I'm ready to go. But yeah. Okay. Is there anything else that we want to talk about? That is game related. Have you played it through, Lydia?
I haven't played it through completely.
Well, neither have I.
I've seen bits and pieces, and I've played. I think the first act I've played, but I've not gone further than that.
I feel like I'd love to see maybe get a stream of Lydia playing through the game at some point.
Hell yeah!
I'd love to know what she thinks of it.
Yeah, especially you also play quite differently than me, Luke, I imagine.
Yeah, a whole 3-hour stream of me sat in the potion crafting menu.
Okay. Well, is there anything else? I'm not sure there is.
No, I'm not sure. I mean, I can talk a little bit about the music side of things, because one of the things I was doing this week was because I finished the story implementation, so the story side, the text side of the Act 3 at the start of this week, and then I did a pass where I was doing all the audio stuff, and complicated. Audio is complicated. There's a bunch of stuff audio missing, just sound effects in general, because as much as I'm okay at composing and at making the music and stuff, the audio, the like sound effects or the atmosphere is really quite hard, and I really struggle to get that to where it is. It's why there's quite a few things missing. It's mostly just because I haven't figured out how to do it, rather than because I don't want it there. If that makes sense. But anyway, I've done a whole bunch of other stuff for the Act 3, and I'm quite happy with a lot of the like. I've tried to make things subtly different every so often, or like hint at things through the music that are in the story and things like that. So I'm quite happy with actually a lot of the story, a lot of the music I've done for the story, and a lot of the like small changes I've done, because I managed to get quite a lot out of the stuff I've written, if that makes sense. Like everything we started different. I've got a whole bunch of things in Fmod to allow me to like change the speed, or change the like pitch, or like add or remove certain parts or things like that, which allows me to a lot of freedom to do things. And I would be very excited to see actually, because at the very end of Act 3 there's a really cool part which I've tried to like do some cool stuff with the music, and I want someone else to get there and see, get there naturally and see, does that have the effect I wanted to have, or once you get to that point. So it'll be cool to see.
I'm not too far away. I'll definitely get there tomorrow morning.
Yeah. You have to put it in, because otherwise you'll be stuck at Quest 11 forever.
Yeah, exactly. I need to update. But once that's done, it'll be so cool. I look forward to sharing this. We still have like people playing the demo and leaving really, really nice.
Yeah, we got a
reviews.
really nice review the other day, which is very nice.
Yeah, we do check all of those, because they're very nice to read. But
actually, talking of things we got, this is a good one that we should talk about, or that we should. We got a community post on Steam a couple of days ago about the font of the game. So it's an accessibility thing. So I'll read out the thing. Was the font is a little difficult to read, which I know is not a major problem. I would not bother many people, but it would be cool to have an option for a different font in the future. Which I think is worth considering. It's always nice. I mean, we have a outline setting, which allows you to put an outline on the text, all the dialogue text, to make it easier to read.
You can do where is it? Text and story. You can do this.
Yeah, text and story.
And then everything gets outlined in the stories.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if we could make even the settings outlined and stuff, like all of these.
Yeah, it should make everything outlined, to be honest.
But is it just that it changes materials?
Pretty much, yeah.
How? It's like, let's see if I can. Actually, I will need to change the.
I mean, it should be, for most text, it should be fine. The only text that has an issue with is text that already has an outline, which a lot of text doesn't. There's a whole bunch. Actually, you can also show off the difficulty settings stuff that I've done in the gameplay settings, because I've kept the simple like difficulty stuff, but I also added a lot of like small, like basically you can change all the details of what the difficulty actually does, which is kind of cool. So you can really play it the way you want it. So you can make certain things harder and certain things easier in ways that are to your liking, which I think is nice. I think it's the kind of thing where I feel like most people are going to ignore it, but for the people who
I have my combat
like
speed set to fast, because I've been like trying to speed through the first act, so I've just been going as quickly as I can.
But yeah, if you press on the show detailed settings of the difficulty, you can see.
Yeah, you can come in and like make things like weaker and increase experience gain and change all of the different bits and pieces, which is really cool. I want my modifiers to be at minimum 1, because I like the modifiers. I think it makes it more interesting. But
yeah, I think the modifiers are quite fun. I was doubtful of them at very first. I thought maybe it was too complicated, but now that I've played with them, yeah, that's pretty cool. If you add a modifier to the crafting, like if you make that setting 1, it just adds a random modifier with it for every potion.
Really, I want to see this. So
and it doesn't even keep the same one every time. It's like it's random every time.
Okay, so this is the modifier 50/50. So we have a heart as the pattern, and then you only get half of the pattern at a time. So you can just wait, or there you go. That'll do. And you're saying that I can keep doing that pattern and it'll change. Which one's this one? It should be random every time. You only have a few seconds to draw the pattern. Be quick. Oh, that's not long at all. Okay.
Oh, the time one I don't think has ever been tested. To be honest, I'm surprised.
I like the time one. That was fun. I'm gonna keep exploring these. Which was this mirror?
Honestly, I can't remember you making that.
The pattern is.
Did you make that? Did I make that? I can't remember.
I think you must have.
Oh yeah.
Settings hard, but for real this time. Yeah. That is cool. This one is just like it's symmetrical. You have to figure it out.
I mean, luckily, this pattern is symmetrical. But,
yeah. That might be. You might have to filter that out of the random modifiers, because otherwise you could get that on a non-symmetrical pattern.
Yeah.
Oh no! I remember this. Okay. This is cursed. Okay, you don't understand. This is inverted control scheme. Okay, it's kind of flipped in my mind now. Oh, no, that's still scuffed. Inverted control scheme with timed on would be really, really hard.
So you know which one's actually really the ones that you, because some of these. I should actually probably see which ones are starting.
Oh my god, inverted controls is so difficult. Sorry.
You get, to begin with, you mostly get the fading ones, and sometimes the mines as well. That's a beautiful heart. But in some of them, you get.
Oh, this is this is horrible.
Yeah, don't panic because it's interesting. But one of the ones you get in Act 2 is called Erratic, which is just random sensitivity. And that one is fun. That one is really quite fun because it can just make you suddenly. It just suddenly jumps you around and is like, oh, I see.
So this is one with 2 modifiers on it. So this has fade and don't panic.
Oh, it has fade because that's the base, right? And it's gonna have another one, yeah.
Okay, that's not okay. That one was kind of lucky because erratic on a straight line is okay because I can just like panic only at the end. But I can definitely see that getting more tricky, especially if like you get a really unlucky one. Let's make a speed potion. So this has teleportation. I love the icon for teleportation, by the way. I think that's a nice way. I like how simple they all are. A blue circle will slowly fill as you draw. When it's full, your mouse will be teleported to the middle of it. Okay.
Have you seen the one that looks like a little snail?
Okay, that's not so bad. A little snail. I don't think I have yet.
It's one of the new ones.
Okay. Let's try one of these. What's this one? Fireflies. The
Fireflies is not made, sadly.
Oh, so it doesn't do anything yet.
Doesn't do anything yet. But the concept is, that the pattern is hidden
it's
by
like,
random.
It's kind of mashed out. Okay,
yeah.
I like that. Let's go make some more heart ones. What's that? Mines. Okay, So to my understanding, yeah, if you go in the red circle, it builds up these evil mines. And what happens if it fills? You just instant. Oh wow, yeah, that.
So basically, if it fills, the area of the mine just fills.
Oh, it fills the entire right. So because that's completely killed that.
Yeah, that's killed that. But it fills the area. So if it's in an area that has a lot of the pattern that needs to be drawn, then it doesn't, like, it won't necessarily be that detrimental. But inversely, if it's in a pattern, if it's in a place of the pattern where a lot is drawn, then it's much more likely to be triggered as well. So it's a nice kind of weird thing. The teleportation might need to be slightly changed just because it goes to the middle regardless of what the pattern is. So it might not be a great one for randomness as well.
Yeah, just the inverted patterns. You can see where my cursor is because that's kind of a bug actually. You can see where my actual cursor is because it's hovering over the health potion recipe. But
oh damn it!
But that's
that bug was fixed.
Was that? Oh, was that no?
That was a known one, but it must have just been lost in the list somewhere.
I still haven't seen the snail one yet. I want to see that. That's fast fading pattern. Oh, beautiful heart. Should be more like that. No, that just made it worse. Okay, hold on. You can, I guess with this, if you don't like a pattern, you can just, quick clear the cauldron to get one that you do like the idea of. But that's only from the that's only for the ones that are added by the the difficulty modifier, right? In very hard mode, does it also add an extra one as well? I can't remember if that was decided.
I can't remember.
Because I think that would be a good idea. Because then you could have like you have 3 modifiers at the minimum. Should be.
Oh, you mean so you have an extra 2 modifiers?
Well, if you had the difficulty to give you +1, and then the
the
very hard mode.
The hard, so basically the hard mode just sets the settings inside, if that makes sense. Like if you press hard mode, this is going to set what the custom settings are, if that makes sense.
Right. I see.
And then, but you can set those custom ones to whatever you wish. Not
why can I not increase it? I want to have 5 modifiers on my potion brewing for the extra challenge.
I might increase it to 2 because 2 seems like an extra 2. Why not? I guess. An extra 5, I think you'll run into problems where there won't be enough modifiers. Like you'll get slow hide and fast hide on a potion, or there won't be enough that makes sense. But I think we could add it. We could increase it to 2. Oh, I see you're back just in time.
Well, we'll be okay. I got 10 seconds until this event begins. But no, we can still talk whilst we do this. I'm just going to be doing some classic leveling as my guy slowly peels himself off the floor.
So what's your plan going to be for this league, for this character?
For this league, a pretty simple one. I'm going to be playing like one of the most basic league starts possible, Lightning Strike. But this is the Phoracia League. I'm not sure how it's properly pronounced. But it's got a bunch of really cool stuff in it. They've redone ascendancies and things, so I'm pretty excited to see how it goes. And I've got a bunch of plans to do some party play with some people from my guild. It's gonna be pretty cool, but to do that, I need to kind of just begin. I'm just gonna start with some real basic stuff. So hillock on the beach and just push through to maps and try get a nice speedy time. And we're not gonna have any issues for a fair while. But we can just push through stuff. And it's gonna be good. I'm excited, you know. We get to see a bunch of like weird and crazy builds appear. And hopefully we don't crash loading into town as everyone is like playing in the league stuff. You'll notice everyone's going to be stood over in the far corner, like talking to Tarkley, because they're all going to be like looking for like a pair of boots with movement speed. And unfortunately I don't have any, so that's tragic. Let's see, we're gonna put a point there, and we're gonna get going. I think we're going to take Cobra Lash if we can until later on. But yeah, there you go. That's my plan. I'm just gonna be playing this in the background. There we go.
I also can't have this. They noticed they moved the league start to Thursdays. Isn't it usually on Fridays?
Well, you see, there's been a lot of interest with that, alright? Because this is like technically not a league, okay? So it's I genuinely think it's copium on their team, because it started out as just an event. It was like a week event, okay? Because the Path of Exile 2 team, is like by far everyone's like focusing on Path of Exile 2 and its endgame issues that's going on at the moment. There's been a lot of drama and stuff about that. Then part of that was, you know, a lot of the like people were saying that they would go back and work on Path of Exile 1, or they'd have like a bunch of people working on Path of Exile 1 like during the event, right? Like during Path of Exile 2's development, and it would kind of both would happen at the same time. And then they announced, like, you know, a few weeks ago, actually scratch that, we're not going to do Path of Exile 1 whilst we're working on Path of Exile 2, and that made a bunch of people really sad. And then they turned around and said, okay, we hear you, sorry about that. What we're actually going to do is we are going to focus on the, like, you know, like, we're going to make a new event for the like Path of Exile 1 thing, and it's going to be really weird. And we're just going to let some people, like some of the devs, just have fun, like make something a bit wild, right? A bit experimental, something a bit weird. We're gonna like make a bunch of weird unfinished, like take a bunch of our weird unfinished ideas, and then make something cool with it. And people got kind of excited about it. And then yeah, it's kind of kept growing to the point where they've completely changed how endgame works. Like, no, there's no longer like a skill tree like there used to be. And instead, they have got this like weird idol system, and then there's like this whole thing about ascendancies where like at certain points in the game, you can kind of choose like a subclass and get a bunch of power from that. It's really important. And they've just remade every single one and made them all really powerfully weird and wacky. And they were like, okay, we'll run this for a week, and then because they kept adding more and more stuff to it. And people were like, you know, this is a lot of stuff for just a week. And then they said, no, it's okay. Because what we'll do is we'll make it so that actually you can make this like, so you can play with these modes and like with these bits and pieces in such a way that it's like always possible in private leagues, which are like custom little leagues that people can pay to run for themselves and for their friends. And so people were like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. And then they said, well, actually, we might expand it, make it last a little bit longer, because people are looking like they really want to play. And then, interestingly, because it's always been called an event, which is like, you know, a limited small thing, as opposed to a league, which is like a several a several month-long event, effectively, that's like really got a lot of stuff in it. But then when I press tab here, it's now calling itself a league, and notably, it wasn't listed as an event, but it had its own league flag when you in character creation, which I assure you has confused a lot of people, because they'll just be sat waiting, like where's the event? It hasn't started. But I don't know. I think it's quite fun. We've just hit level 4, which means we can get our Quicksilver on. Let's try not to get murdered in the process there. There we go. Ouch. I'm just gonna murder these guys. I will fix sound in a moment. Perfect. One of the big things I've noticed actually coming back from Path of Exile 2 is that the Path of Exile 2 is very, very beautiful. And this game now, like, I used to, because obviously I've played this game for many, many years, but it's only now, like, in my eyes, starting to look a little dated, so it feels weird. Oh, there we go. We have music. Excellent. This is a sensory overload. I'm just, like, running through stuff really quick. Yeah,
watching Luke play Path is kind of like that, wasn't it?
What do you mean? You know, this is fine. we've got all 3 of the things. We've got we've got 2 points to put in. We can make that 3 points if we want. We're just killing these guys. There you go, 3 points. We can pop our Quicksilver flask, and off we go to the caves. Zooming through. There's a boss there. It's not worth the time to kill them, so we'll just keep running past. And soon, here we go. We can throw some shells at a wall, and the water will recede. Excellent. That gives us time to think. Excellent. So we are going to take this, this, and this, as we are working towards taking Coordination, followed by Blood Siphon, followed by Trickery, then into Elemental Focus and Assassination, respectively. That's our goal. We have some options. We have a little mini quest we can do here, but I think we'll come back to it. We have a new dagger upgrade which we can temporarily use, which is actually pretty nice, because we don't have to fix our sockets to use. And we have a not terrible shield. There you go. Massive. Excellent. So we could also go back to town and get some stuff, but I think we'll just keep on going for now. We could probably, yeah. There's a lot of things that we can do here to change. And this layout is terrible, but you know what? That's fine. So, in a new league, notably, and in a new event, we have no items or anything. So it's a complete economy reset, and you'll see that there's like this weird stuff, like interact with the Crimson Ore and all of that stuff. That is Settlers of Kalgur. So it's like, this is a league built on top of another league, which is why it's really weird, because even though it's its own league and has its own stuff, it's got all of the the last league stuff here as well, which is just odd. And I don't think another league has done this ever, without it like a mechanic going core effectively, which means it's just like it's in the game as opposed to just like a random league, like a thing that it does. But that's fine, because while the like they have changed bits and pieces about how that new that content works for this event, and we're gonna make sure to kill the rare there because that's gonna give us a juicy bit of XP. If you don't know anything about Path, there are like these monsters. You can see how some of them are kind of glowing blue, like these crabs at the back here. These ones. That means they're magic monsters. They'll give better loot and slightly more XP than your standard ones, but they'll also be a bunch tougher. And same can be said for things that glow yellow, but they're even better than the magic mobs, and they are called rare mobs. Pressed the wrong button. There you go. I need to collapse bits of my monitor on my other screen. Perfect. Okay, cool. We are already out on the ledge at level 6. We are level 6, so we're on level. Like for example, these guys, see how they're glowing blue? That means they're magic mobs. We can murderize them. And we're not trying to be competitive, but we're not too far behind the world lead, who is currently level 10, and we're level 6. Not too bad, but you know, they'll be being much more efficient than me, that's for sure. They're not going to be like stopping to randomly throw projectiles behind us. But the people who are in the lead now will probably fall behind, and some people who like will take over in a second, I'm sure. And yes, we managed to push through. The reason why we're currently covered in lightning, we picked up a shrine that gives us like a temporary buff for 27 extra seconds. And the buff in this case is it creates this little shock nova around us that causes enemies to take more damage when they get hit by it and take a bunch of damage of, you know, like lightning damage. For some reason, my item filter has made all the currency things really big, which I guess is like quite nice for just picking stuff up, but it is a bit odd. And we have gone the wrong way, so we can leave. Yeah, hopefully this isn't too much of a sensory overload. Not that way either. Okay. So the plan is we're gonna keep leveling with this skill, Cobra Lash, until about level 12, and then we'll swap over to Lightning Strike, which is a very powerful skill at the moment. And jewelry is slightly rare to find, like base-wise. So to get 2 rings this early on, pretty nice. It's nothing too special, but you know, we'll take it. You can see a bunch of people on my friends list are logging like on and on, like off and on again, and that is because that is a very cheeky way to teleport in the game. So when you log out and log back in, you log into the nearest town to where you were. So by logging out and logging in, you're saving yourself a portal scroll. But this early in a new league or like a new event, depending on what you believe, it's a bit of a risk because there's a chance that you'll end up in a queue. But it seems that that's not the case at the moment. Now you can also log out to character selection, and then you don't risk the queue, I believe. We're going to tag this waypoint, standing in that corner, and that way we don't have to go any closer. And we can just keep on pushing. This will probably get us killed if we click this, but, you know, we'll give it a go. This is a timeless monument. Monolith? It's certainly something timeless. What we're looking for is something like this, like a little chest that we can unfreeze, so that when the timer at the top turns off, like when this runs out, we'll have stuff to fight and get access to. I don't think I'll be able to get that chest in time, unfortunately. There you go. So now anything that we unfroze will now be able to come and attack us. And they will have much scarier attacks and damage than most of the normal guys that we've been fighting, which is why it's a big risk. But they will also have the potential to drop much nicer things. Here we go. That's the big red that I'm worried about killing us. because they'll be very big and spooky. But you can kind of ignore them. There we go. That's what I'm hoping for. Excellent. That ring will be real good, and we'll sell the rest. So we're very much after scrolls. You can't equip that yet. This we will take. That lets us use that. Excellent. Okay. We can take coordination, which will be nice for us. And then where to next? Let's go up towards Blood Siphon. Up here, we're gonna fight the little green arrow man. He's a little bit spooky. He has been known to be able to do quite a bit of damage, especially if you're feeling a little squishy early on. But I don't think that'll be too much of an issue for us. No, I see what I mean. Does so much damage. The trick is to just stand behind him, really, if you can. But it's easier said than done. And again, like the people who are ahead of us are certainly not killing that guy. he's not efficient. But you know, we'll make do. Once we get to the prison, I think we can go and get our movement skills, which will be lovely. Excellent.
As a non-path player, I find it very. I'm offended by the fact that you're just not killing every mob in the map. You know.
Okay. I can explain the reasoning behind why I don't kill every mob.
No, I know the reason it makes sense from like they're too much time for the amount of XP they'll give you, and later areas will just give you enough XP that it'll make their XP inconsequential, basically.
Yeah.
It does mean that from my point of view, when I play Path, I'm always like, I need to kill everything. Cannot let anything live.
Here we go. That's what we're after. I don't do want Frostblink. Dash. Ooh, I'm gonna take that and pray. Pray that won't screw me a bit. I will have to use. Okay, we're gonna do something a bit weird here and use a weapon swap. So by putting these jewels in basically this tiny back slot. So basically by putting that in our backpack, the gems inside it will still level even though we're not using it. And now we have a Frostblink, which lets us teleport around, which is going to be much faster and much more convenient. Because doors, who needs them? We'll just go straight through. Oh yeah, okay. We are also, obviously, the first character of a league, which means that we must engage with the lab trials, okay? Because this is a big part of this league, is to complete the Trials of Ascendancy and gain the wacky new ascendancies that this is presented for us. So we're going to go do a bunch of the traps. Should be perfectly fine for us. I got stabbed. So you flick a lever and you backtrack, and then there's like some guys, and then there's this big alternating trap. But if we have our blink skill, we can just teleport to the end and skip it, which is lovely. And there's two rares here, so we're going to bother fighting them. Now, it is not good though. These res are really beating us up. We might die here. Oh no.
No more flasks.
It's okay. Yeah. Oh, it's okay. We got bullied. It's a big, strong skeleton. Okay, this is why we're playing the easy mode, you know, where you can die and it doesn't delete your character.
You can't believe your character's already not what it's called. What's it called? The mode where you die if you
hardcore.
Hardcore, thank you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
not hardcore level, I'm afraid. Too bad a game. That's actually extremely unfortunate. I don't think I've died this early in many, like quite a long time. Hi, when is the release date for My Party Needs an Alchemist? Hello. It should be about April 30th, I believe.
Not April, March.
March 30th. That one.
Get it right.
Sorry.
Probably, yeah, March.
Like a month's
30th,
time.
a month's time. March 30th at the latest. We're hoping probably more likely to be March 27th. But it will depend a little bit on how, if we have time to finish everything. Yeah, it's pretty soon.
It is. It's well, a little nervously. It's a little nervously soon, you know.
Yeah, it's excitingly soon, but also stressful.
But hey, I think the game is in a really good state. I think we can finish on time with our plans. It's going to be really cool. I'm really excited for people to play it.
Yeah,
So it's going to be really. I don't know. I'm excited. I mean, it's going to be nervous.
It's nice to see what people, you know, how people play and what people think of the thing you've been working on for like the past year.
Yeah. Because it has been like, what was it, half a year to a year now? How long has it actually been?
It'll be about a year when we release. I think it'll be like very slightly less, but only by a small amount. That's only if you consider the amount of time we worked on My Party Needs an Alchemist and not the project we were doing before.
Yeah.
So we kind of pivoted after a month or two of development on our previous project.
That is true. Because we worked on. Do you remember what it was called?
It was Worm Loop.
Worm.
Worm spelled W-Y.
Y-R-M. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. We just started on something that I think was a bit too ambitious, a bit too story heavy. And then
I think it would have been cool. I think
it would have been cool.
Yeah, but it was. It wasn't as concrete as it had to be.
It was just a big RPG with some really weird like card based locomotion. But I would.
Yeah, but it also had like the like time loop kind of thing.
Yeah. Where like.
If you want to know more about it, I think our very first shorts of Make a Game with Us are on Worm Loop. I think it was about 4 or 5 before we pivoted.
Yeah, which is in a YouTube playlist. If you look up Gilded Rune Games on YouTube, you'll find them all.
I have no idea how good they are. They were the first shorts of Make a Game with Us we were making, so who knows?
I think they're pretty good. I mean, one of them is like still our second most viewed one, and one of them did really well. I think the one where we actually pivoted was like very popular for some reason. I think it's just because we were like, you know, sad that we had to change. But yeah, I guess that's just how it is. Get some fragments and start to fill our completely empty stash tab of things. But I would like to, maybe at some point we look at that again in the future, but that's not going to be our next project, I don't think.
Unlikely, yeah.
I'd be very surprised, but it is fun.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's one of the many now projects that I want to do eventually, or like want to have another crack at. But not immediately. There's a couple projects like that. Or ideas that are just too complicated, or we don't quite have the right skill sets, or variety of weird problems and reasons why we don't really want to do them immediately. But eventually, at least I would like to get to.
Yeah. What other kind of things would you want to make? Because I know we have ideas of what we're going to make next. But has that, like, do you have any like ideas of stuff that's maybe changed or anything? Like,
things I would want to make just at some point. There's some relatively weird ones. I still want to make a almost. There's an idea for like a stealth-based rhythm game. So a bit like imagine Crypto the Necrodancer, but it's a stealth game. And I think that could be fun. It's an idea just like that, so we'd have to actually figure out the ins and outs of it, like what that actually means. But I still think it's an interesting idea. And then I'm a big fan of like strategy or like city builders or like colony sims, things like that. So I wouldn't mind making a game like that. There's a game actually that's out there that I had an idea for this game. And I thought it was so original, and then I found a game that basically sounds like it did what I was thinking of. Yeah, there's like I quite like the idea of trying to mix like a city builder thing was like a kind of a roguelike second part, or like something like that, where you have like a section where you go find a whole bunch of materials in this place, and then you have a whole section where you're building up a small town or something. In this other thing, and then it's a bit of a roguelike where you're trying to get to a certain point in this dungeon, but to do so you need to build the right buildings to give you the right weapons or something. Again, it's at the idea phase where it's just like, generating just random things. There's nothing concrete yet. But I'm a big fan of a lot of these type of games where I like roguelikes, I like city builders, I like colony sims. Something that mixes them together, I think, could be fun.
Have you considered have you played Loop Hero?
I have not, though I think I have seen you play it.
That does actually have that element as well. You have like a home base, and you gather resources during your runs to improve it.
Yeah, there's a few games that do that to a varying degree. Like, you could even say something like Rogue Legacy does that basically, right? It has this small town that you build up with the gold that you find. And there's a game called Economics, which is a relatively obscure game, but that does pretty much exactly what I was thinking of when I had the idea, and then I found it a few days later. And it looks interesting. It's one of those games that I want to buy at some point just because I'm curious about how it works. And then, of course, there's a project that we also thought of doing next. While you were still writing the story for our previous project out of Malagry, I had the idea. Well, we had this idea for like. It was a very different idea, the Zoomy Zoomy game, where it was turn-based, but you had like this damage multiplier that would reduce with time, and every time you made a move, it would jump up a bit. So basically, the concept was that the faster you made your turns, the more damage you would deal. So it was kind of like a turn-based mixed with a real-time kind of thing, which again I still think is a kind of a fun idea that I want to do at some point, because I think it's that one. I think I haven't really found anything that really does that, and I think it's a fun idea. I think it could be cool. Very different to what we're doing now, but still could be interesting.
Yeah, I do like the idea of it. Because we talked about making that kind of like more bullet heavy as well, like some like a version that's kind of like a less turn-based version of that, I guess. We were talking about that when we visited you in France, but that was quite a while ago.
Yeah, the thing is that we when I made it, because I made a prototype for it. And I think my prototype was quite fun. The only problem with it is obviously everything's in my art, so it looks absolutely terrible. But it was kind of fun. It was a proof of concept that I think kind of proved that it could work. in the sense that like this kind of idea that you had to, it was turn based, but you had to make your turns quickly. There was definitely some challenges with it, like animations became super hard, like for any hostile movement or like when they did things, it would have been really difficult to do because inherently you want the turns to go super fast, so like all the animations have to be super fast as well. So like I remember putting like the hard limit of every animation between like the turns had to be like I had it at 0.1 seconds, so it meant that there was technically a limit on how fast you could go, but still it was it didn't mean that every animation has to be in 0.1 second, which is basically no time for anything. I think that would have been a relatively hard issue to overcome. You'd have to have the 1 frame animations basically between states, if that, or just like snapping basically. But it was cool. It was still cool. Like with my, because you had like in my prototype, you had like these enemies that would just have like these rays that would target you, and avoiding one was super easy, right? You just move out of the spot you're in. But like when there was 2 or 3 with you, you had to like be careful not to, like, there was certain blocks you could hide behind or things like that, but it was still, you could get overrun very easily. And if you didn't, like, if you were going too fast, you might like not make the right decision in the split second. So I think it's a fun idea. I think it's one of those projects I definitely want to do at some point, because it's a weird concept that I haven't seen, and it works. Well, at least I think it works. I find it enjoyable. So yeah, but that's kind of my general gist when I'm making games, is that I want to make things that are relatively unique and that I haven't seen, or like in a way that is a bit unique. And I'm I like my mechanics quite a lot.
So a question for you then: does it why should it have to be like, because since then, does it need to be like on a grid, and does it need to be turn based? Can it not just be like time moves only when you move kind of thing? It was like
it could be,
super
but I think that's just interesting.
Why?
So, because basically the turn-based makes it very similar to games that are turn-based on the grid, right? So if you look at things like, basically it's trying to mix the kind of the strategy that you get from these grid-based ones with the more fast-paced thinking that you would get from a roguelike or a time when you move when you move. I think the fact that it's basically the time when you move when you move, it's what it is, except that time is in blocks of 0.1 seconds. And you do time, when you move 0.1 seconds long, basically. But the other big reason is that because you have this damage multiplier that reduces, like, you do less damage if you take longer to think about your turns, or if you give yourself time, basically. It means that it means that you can't really do that with time when you move when you move. I mean, you could to an extent, but it would be less like. I feel like it would work less well than with this like turn-based, like base, the base as a turn-based thing, and then having this thing which is like it forces you to make turns quickly. I don't know. I in my mind, I feel like it would be less interesting. It would be less interesting to have it be just time when you move. It might just be because I've I don't know if there's I don't know if it's inherently worse. It could just be that I've come to like this idea, and so I'm like, no, it has to be this way. But that was the idea, and that's kind of, I still stand by the I want to do this because it's, as I said, it's unique. Time when you move and you move. There are quite a few games that do that, but turn-based with this damage multiplier that slowly reduces over time. I think that's cool. I think that's interesting.
That is the. I mean, it's the same thing, but with extra steps. You know what I mean?
Kind of. I mean, I see what you mean. It is kind of the same thing with extra steps, but it's in a different way. Because the grid base and the turn base, as I said, make it much more akin to much more like strategy based games rather than roguelikes, if that makes sense. Like it's more akin to like Into the Breach, but you have to go fast rather than anything else, almost. Obviously, it's not quite because your moves are extremely simple. Actually, it's quite similar to Crypt of the Necrodancer, right? In the sense that, well, in Crypt of the Necrodancer, you have to time things based on the time, based on the music and stuff. But still, like, it's still grid-based and it's still turn-based, in effect. So it's very much like that, except that you're not bound to the timing of the music. You're bound to as fast as you can go, basically.
Okay.
If that makes sense. It does. It basically creates a different gameplay compared to time unlimited.
Well, I'm a big fan of like the super hot style
Yeah.
meter, and what is the what does that come from? Devil May Cry, I think. I think that's where like it actually like stems like the. But I have never played any of the Devil May Cry games, which are they like console or are they do they also have like PC makes? I genuinely don't know.
I looked this up before. I feel stupid. I think that was. Yeah, no, you can play them on Steam.
Okay. Yeah.
They exist.
Well, again, I haven't played a bunch of really random games that I feel like I probably should have. Like I've never played a Zelda game, which is probably heresy. But you know, some people will find that upsetting. But
I find that disappointing. Well, I find it disappointing that you keep dissing the Nintendo games.
well, listen,
Just
they make it so easy. What can I say?
I don't know. There's certain. I must admit, I was really taken back by Chili Kingdom when I played it. Yeah, I thought it was really, really good.
And I wouldn't want you to not feel that was true. You know, like.
Very natural way of saying that.
No, I'm sure it is a good game. I haven't played it, so I can't comment.
Yeah, it was just one of those games that like every year or every year-ish there's a game I play and I'm just like, damn, this is good. Yeah, this is like peak. And Tears of the Kingdom was one of them. It was just one of those games that's like, damn, this is really good. And they're relatively rare, and usually they're weird indie games that I'm just like, yep, this hit me in the right place. This did the right thing. But sometimes it's just, well, the most recent one was Tactical Breach Wizards. If you guys haven't played Tactical Breach Wizards, highly recommend it. It is a great game. It is. Well, to be honest, it's just exactly what I like.
This is the thing, though. Right? This is where it's like, wait, hold on. Zelda games are great because there's so many randomizers for them that are infinitely replayable. That's true, actually. I like the concept of randomizers. I've recently been playing Baldur's Gate, and I want to do a Baldur's Gate randomizer at some point because that sounds like it would be really fun. I'm getting close to Act 3 in my honor run, and I've just been having a blast. Honestly, it's been really, really good fun. If you haven't tried doing an honor run, by the way, Matt, it is pretty cool. But I just think like adding like.
I basically haven't ever really gone past Act 2, so it's quite a bit ahead of me.
I need to. Well, who knows? Maybe my honor run won't either. But I still have.
I think the other one's already ahead of where I've ever been. I haven't gone that far in Act 2. Baldur's Gate in my mind is the kind of game I play with like just groups of friends, but all the groups I've played with so far have ended early. Just 'cause
it's
things,
captured the perfect like 5e campaign energy of like
exactly.
people cause it to end early before it's finished. Art mimicking life there, but I don't know. I think playing a randomizer, getting some like weird like I've seen like mods that turn it into a roguelike as well. Where it's like they make it so that you start at level 1 in a random like area, and then like it slowly spawns in like waves of monsters, and you get items by looting their corpses, and like you just level and survive that way. And that's pretty cool. I like that. So I'm pretty excited to see, like, you know, to have a play with something like that, because that's not too far away from your idea of like, but, you know, obviously like stylistically it is, but like just I don't know. So, that's just a turn-based combat game, effectively.
Yeah, but it's not quite the same.
No, I mean obviously not. It doesn't have the style meter or the time stuff. At all,
The time
but...
stuff is like the entire like unique part of it.
Yeah.
The turn base is just is the base, and then the unique thing that makes it different is the time thing. I don't know. I quite like my demo. My prototype. It looked terrible, as I said. It was, I think, worse than if I just used squares, to be honest, for things. And yeah, but I do remember I have a clear memory of these laser beams coming at you, because all I'd done for the prototype was just have the basically monsters, more and more monsters would spawn as you go on. So it would be, and I think so every time you managed to get past a level, basically, it would spawn the same level but with extra monsters. And so you just basically try and get as far as possible in this prototype, or have it crash, because if it tried to spawn things on things, it would crash.
Nice.
I was too lazy to fix that problem, as it was just the prototype.
Can you imagine that game, but instead of 2D, it's 3D isometric?
3D isometric?
Hmm.
You could do. I mean, it wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, don't see why not.
It could be cool.
Probably would.
It could be fun. We could try something like that. Because obviously I've got the 3D isometric style thing, and I still need something to actually like stress test it.
I mean, this would do that. I mean, 'cause especially that you'd have to. The one thing I was finding with it was that it had to be very clear, like what hostiles were doing.
Yeah.
So that's why I had like these big red laser beams coming out of them when they were shooting you. Because everything would there'd be an effect for right before things attacked. So like the turn before, it would show where they were about to attack, and then they would attack. Oh yeah, I also had smoke bombs and things like that. I remember the smoke because I managed to make pixelated smoke.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then I remember we disagreeing on if there should be if the smoke should fade out or not.
Were you for or against?
I was for. I mean, I just thought it looked better when it faded out. I get why people didn't want it to fade out. It makes sense, but I think it's more, I won't say stylistically appropriate for it to have an outline and just be a flat color, but I just thought it looked so much better when it faded out.
I can't remember. I can't remember enough of it, to be fair.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. I mean, we never really went very far with it. So, but yeah, you'd have these hostiles that would put smoke bombs so you couldn't see anything. I remember that. And you had the bomb ones that would just like throw a grenade somewhere, or that would explode. I can't remember if they exploded or they were throwing grenades. But yeah, it was a simple concept of just like something happens, and then the next turn, it activates in a sense. So you always be prepared. So yeah, but as you're going to go fast, sometimes you might miss things. Yeah, it was fun. I still want to do it. But it's in the list of things that I want to do someday, and that only grows. That grows faster than we make things, so it's a bit sad. I know that they're not all gonna be made.
But I think it's good to note these though.
Yeah.
I do like that idea. That was such a solid idea. If we kind of make it like
up
visually
down the list, I think.
like pop and like make something like, I feel like it's missing a something, but it's so close to being like really good. I mean, like it's already good as it is. It might even just be like flavor that is missing.
Oh yeah, flavor can definitely change.
But then you could make something really cool.
Yeah, I think the flavor would have to be changed, and there would have to be like some like either story or something like that, right, added to it. But as a base mechanic for a game, or like as a base mechanic, I think it could be a very solid base.
Okay. Hear me out, right? You have your guy, and you kind of like to begin with, they can just walk around in a little zone, and they're not necessarily confined to the grid, or they just like click to move kind of thing, right? And then there's an altar in the middle of this little forest, and we're assuming that we're going to use like the 3D isometric pixel art 45-degree angle kind of thing, right? You click the altar, and then it does like the disjunction edge zoom, so and then monsters stop running in from those edges, and your character like is aligned to a grid, and you move into like the speed combat mode. And then like in between these, like, once you complete an altar, like a portal opens and you can go to a new area, and then you can do stuff in between the next altar. So it's like a true roguelike kind of progression thing.
I can see that.
I think that would be really cool.
I think that would be pretty cool.
I'd make that.
I think you could have like I wouldn't mind having like some kind of like home base thing, where you could meet certain characters or something, like, or maybe there would just be characters between the combat phases when you're going to other altars. There could be some interesting things there as well, which could be kind of cool. But I like the idea. I also like the idea of disjunctions. I think it's a cool flavor.
It is really cool. Disjunctions is great as a flavor because it's like little pocket dimensions that can be anything with spooky spacer on the edge. It's very simple, but it's also really cool. I don't know, I like it.
So, I've got a quick question. This is something that I've been thinking about because I've been playing one of their games. But you know the people who make all the SteamWorld games? So like the SteamWorld Build, SteamWorld Heist, or like SteamWorld Hand of Gilgamesh, like all of those games.
No, I do not. But go on.
They make a whole bunch of games, and they're I've played SteamWorld Hand of Gilgamesh, SteamWorld Dig, SteamWorld Dig 2, and now I'm playing SteamWorld Heist 2. And they're all games made by the same studio, and all have the similar vibe where everybody's these kind of robot machines, these steam-powered machines, right? And that's kind of the flavor of all these games, right? But the games themselves are mechanically very different. Like the SteamWorld Hand of Gilgamesh is an RPG. The SteamWorld Dig is you dig. It's like a 2D. It's like it's a bit like Spelunky, but you dig more. And SteamWorld Heist 2, I've been playing it. It's this like 2D platformer like combat thing. I've been enjoying it. It's fine. But the reason I bring it up is because what I find fun with the studio is that they always, like, their theme is SteamWorld. It's always the same art style. It's always the same like characters. It's always the same universe in a way.
Okay.
But the games are still vastly different from each other. They don't stay in one style. Well, I mean, they sometimes come back to a style, but they don't always stay to one style. Which I think is interesting. I'm just wondering, like, because one of the things that we've discussed previously is that we want to obviously try and keep some of our audience from game to game, because otherwise, we can't continue the business in a sense, right? But equally, we don't necessarily want to get locked into, always making a game of a certain type, or always making the same game in effect, right?
Yeah.
So I was just wondering if it could be a solution to try and find a flavor thing that we can add to lots of games, and have that kind of style always be there, while keeping the mechanics and the stories and whatever to be quite different, right? Something a bit like, in this case, for them it's the SteamWorld theme, where they always have things. They always have the SteamWorld theme, regardless of what they make, in a sense, of what game they're making. And I was wondering if we should try and maybe find something a bit like that, where it's like, no matter what we make, we always have this kind of common theme, but that's more of like a setting almost than like a full theme, and it would allow us to do a lot of different things while keeping or making the games very obviously ours.
Yeah.
Just by looking at them, if that makes sense.
That's not a terrible idea. I mean, disjunctions could definitely work for that kind of thing. You just need to flesh it out.
Cool. Yeah, I like disjunctions. That's also the other problem. I just like the sound.
I mean, it's like, you know, we can just make it look cool. Because if it, I mean, like the thing is, if it works, then why change it? You know, if we're happy to keep doing it.
Yeah, it's just something to ponder. It's an interesting like way of making like, because you know, it's a way of allowing you to kind of do lots of interesting things while also allowing you to allowing, it's a very, you know, like the SteamWorld people, like you can't, if you already know them, then if you see another one of their games, you know it's the same people immediately, regardless of how different the game may be. And there's very like, because the art style is always very similar, and like the theme is always the same. And so like finding something where it's like, I don't know. I think it's really cool to have like that kind of thing, and I think it's a pretty smart idea. Where it's like, you know, if people like the SteamWorld game, they know that the SteamWorld, like they might be a very different style, but they might still try it because they liked the other SteamWorld game. And it's the same people, and they know it's the same people immediately. You don't have to go looking for it in a sense. I don't know. It's just a thought, which I think could be interesting to try and see if we can weave into things. I mean, obviously, there's my jellyfish. There'll always be jellyfish.
Adding a jellyfish to the game doesn't like you know.
No, I know. It's an Easter egg, but it is a common theme.
You can definitely do that. It makes like jellyfish like a trash mob, you know, another one.
Hey, wait a minute. Jellyfish. Jellyfish were like the very first game we did. There was a jellyfish mob that was like about 60-70% way through the game.
Yeah.
Then second game we did, there wasn't really a jellyfish in it, to be honest. I mean, there was like one of the regions, the plants looked like jellyfish, but I think that's about as far as it went. So in I
guess you have to abandon that.
Had a jellyfish item, which was nice.
Yeah, sure. It was very hard to obtain, but it was there.
Very hard to obtain as well, yeah. And obviously, my partner Zakas, we're going to have a secret quest with jellyfish.
Yep.
We need to find something for the next game as well.
The next game will be super easy, depending on what we choose to go with.
True. It could be very easy. Well, that's I think kind of end the discussion on the various projects I want to make.
Very fair.
How's your path run going?
Path run's going okay. Just reached Act 2. I am poor. I don't have enough wisdom scrolls to ID my gear. I got a chromatic orb though, so that's nice. I don't have any movement speed on my boots, which is not great. I am now transitioned over into Lightning Strike, so it's gonna get incrementally better. We have reached our goal of getting both Assassination and Elemental Focus, so now we're gonna path down towards this Forces of Nature. 10% damage penetrates, 10% of enemy elemental resistances, which is going to be really big. But then we're going to take this Elemental Mastery, and the big thing is we're going to take hits have a 25% chance to treat enemy monster elemental resistances values as inverted. So that's going to be huge for us because it means we're suddenly going to do like 30% extra damage, which yeah, we'd love to see. So I'm deciding which way to go, and I think we're going to go to the old fields. But yeah, we're going to help Alira, which is going to be weird. I hardly ever help people. You know, like the 3 bandit lords. There you go. Weirdly enough, actually, for this league, there's a boss that people are going to farm in this zone for like hours, I suspect. Because there's a weird like almost like Easter egg kind of item that Path of Exile has that are fishing rods. Basically, to get a fishing rod in this game, you need to destroy this guy, Janice, or I don't know how you want to say that. Nice, I think is how it's actually pronounced. You need to kill Nice whilst wearing a pirate hat, and then they'll drop a fishing rod. I think that's all the requirements. But if you are wearing a Faircrave's tricone, or the tricone, you will have a chance to drop a fishing rod. And in this event, one of the weird new ascendancies has a bunch of stuff that hinges on whether or not you have a fishing rod equipped. So as a result, we're going to see a lot of people wearing pirate hats killing that boss, and I think that's going to be quite funny. But there you go. But man, the concept of doing more and more games with this junction stuff is quite fun. I mean, I could easily see it for like the next project that we currently are planning to do, and then like keeping that like going would be quite neat. What I need to do then, if we're gonna do that, I want to like for the prototype make like a cool cutaway shader. So that we can just kind of like toggle a thing and it just zooms in. Because that would be really, really cool. And I do wonder like how you do that. There's this thing called a stencil buffer, and I suspect I will need to use that. But if I can do that, then my I think I gain a level in shader wizardry, so that'll be nice. Just whirling blading through this area, no need. We'll be back there 2 more times. But for now, we're going to take a bunch of small nodes. Hell yeah.
Well, I think I might head up and go have dinner. But,
fair enough.
I hope you enjoy your path.
Thank you.
And I hope everybody has a good day, or good rest of the day, or good day tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, depending on where you are.
Depending on where you are, exactly. And yeah, I'll see you all next week. And yeah, have a good one.
Bye, Matt.
Bye.
How are you doing, Lydia?
I'm doing good.
You up to anything fun at the moment?
Not particularly, no.
Oh dear.
You playing Path?
I am. I'm still very... Oh, I'm very tempted to go eat as well, honestly. I haven't eaten.
You probably should. Do you want me to come over and meet?
Possibly. But I'll probably stop streaming in... I would say at the hour, but that's in 1 minute. So maybe soon. I mean, we'll see how far. I might do all 3 bandits and then call it there. But I need to kill Creighton. Oh no. But yeah, then maybe food.
That's good.
I would love that. Oh, actually, I might have stuff already downstairs. I cannot remember how prepared I was.
Well, if you want me to go put stuff on, I'm more than happy to make a little snack run for us if you fancy anything.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you fancy in then? Because we've got an hour to pick stuff and go and get it. Before our little corner shop closes. Oh yeah.
Just whatever you fancy, really. I'm just gonna, like, I think I do have stuff downstairs to eat. So
okay.
Just snacky stuff, I guess.
Hell yeah. I'll grab us some nibbles.
Nice.
Oh, I'll see everyone in a bit then.
Bye. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. I think this is gonna... Matt leaving will break the graphic because he was wearing a crown because he beat me in a speedrun. He's left now, and the crown isn't attached to his sprite, so it's just gonna float there. Oh no. We'll fix that soon. There we go. Okay. There we go. Let's think. That would be lovely if that worked. We're fishing for movement speed on boots, but it doesn't look like we're having any luck, so that is all good. By killing that Banner Lord, we make progress through the second act. There are 10 acts, and we're going to go through them all, although I'm not sure if I'll do that. I'm definitely not going to do that all consecutively, because I'm going to go eat food in, like, not long, but we'll push as far as we feel is necessary. Groost might have some movement speed boots. I should check. No. Okay, where next? Let's go do Chambers of Sin. Man, I love Path. I've been playing Path for like at least 10 years now, very scarily. It's a I love it. It's a great game. It's a very weird game, and I imagine at this point nearly impossible for new people to get into because it's got so much stuff in it. But if you were there from the start, then it's wonderful because you just have like so many. It's such a mechanically dense game, and if you enjoy that kind of thing, like I do, then you'll eventually fall in love with it. Although I actually recommend you probably play the second game first, and then but that's very new. It's kind of in like an open beta at the moment, and its campaign, like the 3 acts that are available, are excellent. Its end game, not so excellent. But the end game of like whereas it's inversed in the Path of Exile 1, like the campaign is. Like I've played this campaign like hundreds of times, so I'm just zooming through. However, like and it's not like super great, but the end game of Path of Exile 1 is so good. It looks confusing. Yeah, it's a little confusing. If you've never played it, this is gonna be real weird to showcase because I am just like zipping around, super zoomy. Oh no, I died. At the moment, like dying means very little to us because we lose, I think, like a tiny amount of XP, but that's not really anything at this point in the game. But that will mean a lot more to us later on when we get into it, the end game stuff. Or later into the acts. Okay, so. Quick summary of Path. The game is all about items. All of these items. It's a very item-heavy game. And items have mods on them. These blue lines of text that add properties to your character. They can be broken down into different individual things. You have any item can have up to 3 prefixes, 3 suffixes, and they're just groups of mods. So like all of the health stuff. All the stuff relating to health is in the prefix category, and then like resistances are like all in suffixes. So that way you can't have an item with tons and tons of suffixes, but like tons of lightning resistance on every like line. But you end up with like nice balanced items as they all pull from like there's 2 like pulls that it's pulled from. They have different rarities which determine how many of these mods can actually appear. Like white items have no mods on them, blue or magic items can have up to 2, and then rare ones can have up to 6. These sockets on them, you can basically like active skills can be socketed into your items to get the skill to appear in your hotbar, and then you can cast it. And then these are modified by support gems, which it alter the main active, but they have to be linked together for that to occur. that's kind of like the very simple stuff where you make items so that your character is stronger, is better. You socket gems so that you can do extra things, and fight more. And that's the idea. Until you're like fighting gods and going crazy and the screen explodes. But in my mind, it's like it's like a almost like a problem-solving game where you have like a lot of tons of options of how your character works. Like there's hundreds and hundreds of like active skills. So like your build and like the archetype you play will be out there. You just need to find it. And then it's like you make a build and put it together, and then you go and like fight these like big bosses later on. And it's like, can your build do that? Like, can you make something that can like defeat these big enemies? And so that's why I think it's kind of more of like a problem-solving game. But there's definitely like skill in it, and like tons of like potential game knowledge to learn and all of these different things. You know, I think it's pretty cool. It's also completely free, so if you want to try it out, Path of Exile 1 at least is perfectly free. You can just play it. It's cool. You can buy cosmetics, but they don't do stuff. They just make you look pretty. And you can. It's like in terms of like ethics, the company that make this are exceptional, and I love GGG as a result. They're very good, and they rarely do anything to. The clicking of your mouse gives me bad flashbacks to League of Legends. What do you mean? Just like the way that I'm like moving around stuff, or just like how much can you hear my clicking like really loud? If so, I apologize. What do I want? I think I'll take Assassin's Mark as a curse, and I will. Do that. Just the sounds. Oh, I'm sorry. Hopefully that's not too annoying. I never knew you played League. That's crazy. I've never like really indulged too much with MOBAs, but which I think League is a MOBA, right? Is that true? Yeah, it's like Dota. That's a MOBA. I think. I make games, right? That's true. Ah, but either way, you know what I mean. Sorry. Hang on. The best thing I ever did was stop playing League. Oh, okay. I've heard a lot of people either like really like it or really hate it. And often the people who really like it also really hate it. Which seems healthy, you know? But in fairness, I get that, because right, it's like this thing where you're like with a bunch of like random online people, and like it's super like stressful competitive environment. It's like super toxic. My mental and physical health both improved after quitting. Yeah, I can see that. It's like those kind of games are stressful. I've never really like been much of a fan of like competitive games, like that solely competitive, like Dota and stuff like that. Just because I feel like it brings out the worst in people, and you know, I want like when I play my games to chill out. I don't really want people screaming at me all the time, you know. But there's definitely satisfaction in like mastery of sport and stuff like that. You know, like competitive stuff. I can see like the thrill of like being good at something and doing that, but I don't know. I think the stress is too much of a like puts me off too much to like warrant getting into it. Plus, I don't need another game to get addicted to, you know. I started playing a couple months ago, so I guess I'm going downhill. Oh no. Hey. Is it any good? Actually, wait, hold on. Did you stop playing because of Arcane? Tell me truthfully, is that true? I want to know if it's a couple months ago. I could line up. Because Arcane as a show was maybe, yeah, I thought so. I knew. Okay, Arcane, great show, loved it. Very well animated, very beautiful. But it's also like an amazing, just like ad campaign, like for the game, because it's just so well done. So you're like, yeah, the game must be really, really good too. And it, again, I haven't played it, so it might be, but it has like has a very like extreme track record for either being very much a game you like or a game you hate. Save yourself. Oh no. But Arcane is so good. I liked it. There's been a bunch of good like animated shows that come out recently. Like I've seen there's a new Castlevania thing that popped up. I got to watch that still. But I've enjoyed some of like the earlier ones. But Arcane was phenomenal. And they've released, well, they haven't released, but they've announced a bunch of new like mini like spin-offs. Although knowing them, it won't be mini. It will just be like 3 whole spin-offs. So that'll be cool. Let's see more of where the characters go. But I think it's very weird for me because as someone who has like no knowledge of League in any way, seeing like some characters pop up and being like, okay, that character is like using a very particular weapon and is attacking in very like particular ways. They must be like one of the League characters. It was very like intriguing to like try and guess who is and who is not. Like, I guess not a main character, but like a notable character, you know. I fear it's too late. Oh no. The addiction has already taken hold. I mean, there are certain games that like filter out the play that they have, right? I think Path is a good example of one of those because it has the thing of like people press P and then zoom out and they're like, wait, this is the skill tree, and then they log out and never play because that's super chaos. But I think League's filter is almost certainly like, can you survive playing public games and that people getting super mad at you in the chat. Just is it purely text chat League, or do you have like voice calls? Because I know like, you know, like voice chat kind of thing, right? Because I know like games like Fortnite and stuff have voice. Does League have that, or would that be like too dangerous? That was legit me. My boyfriend plays Path of Exile 2 and I gave up when I saw the skill tree. I see. Well, you know, that's extremely reasonable. And also why build guides exist, so you can go and get somebody else to look at it and go, yeah, you should probably go down this path. And then you can always change it up and like, you know, do what you want to do. But man, I mean, I know when I first started playing, I like trying to figure out where I wanted to go, and it was just not the way. I tried. I think my very first character I tried made something absolutely terrible, and then the next one I made. I looked up a build guide and was like, okay, this is what I gotta do, and then you just kind of like slowly learn. Where is this guy? There's like there's like a man I'm trying to find and kill who's like randomly in this zone. He's like a priest, and he has a big maul. Only text chat. Only text when I stopped. Okay, I think there is voice, but people don't use it. Maps procedure. Okay, hold on. Oh, wait. There. Okay. If there's voice chat, that's terrifying because then people can genuinely scream at you. Okay, here you go. I can drop a portal. I mean, text chat makes sense. And even that is like can be extremely toxic. I mean, are the maps procedurally generated? Kind of. Okay. The way that they do procedural generation in Path is really really cool. They have like these semi-procedurally generated maps, so it's kind of like the zones themselves are procedural, but they follow certain patterns. So like later on, depending on how long I stream, there will be a point where I can look at a teacup and tell you which direction we need to run, because like that is part of the pattern, and if you can use that to determine like directions. However, at the same time, like it'll like a bunch of stuff will happen, like you know, like it'll flip around, like corridors will be like generated randomly and like different bits and pieces. Like this zone that I'm in now, like this end part, that is always like this. Anytime you get to the like, there is always a place like this in this layout. However, like the network of corridors and things like out here, this is procedurally generated. So it's like procedural, but there are rules. And if you learn those rules, then you can start like really quickly navigating through zones. If that makes sense. But yeah, PoE2 is fun. PoE2 is really cool. I love the campaign in PoE2. It's just so much more user friendly, and the skill system is so much nicer for new people. That's like my biggest complaint about Path of Exile 1 is that like none of my friends will play it with me because it's too complicated, and also like I've been playing long enough that like I'll just zoom around, and if you like it's so hard to like get into, like learn like the basics, that it's just impossible to keep up. It's it's sad, but Path of Exile 2 does a much better job, I think, at managing those problems. I've finally got decent boots, but they are on an armor evasion base, which is going to cause my entire gear to have issues. Oh no. Okay, that's pretty cool. The game looks very nice considering how old it is. Yeah, this game is so old. It's really, really old. And it does well. I mean, town is a mess because other people are here. But I think it looks quite good. But after playing PoE2 for a bit, oh man, it does look a little dated. It does look a little bit more dated, but they procedurally go through and like update this game. So there's like every 4 months they release a new like free league, like basically a new content patch that you can enjoy and experiment with. Oh no, I need 2 new sockets on my gear, and I do not have something that works. Can I buy a helmet with 2 blue sockets? Oh my gosh, I can. We're saved. Okay, I had an essence, so I will slam this helmet to make it slightly better. Bonk. Nice. Okay. Yeah. So I think I started when I was about. Oh, actually, yeah. It started around 2016. Was probably when I started like playing it properly. So this game is mega old, but I just think like it looks good enough. It like plays well, and like the end game is so enjoyable, especially for me. I don't know. I don't have to justify it. I think it's fun. Let's see. Bump. I think I've played everything I need. I can start going the opposite direction. Into the river. So, to give an idea on how slow we are compared to like the best people, someone has just reached. That's the first player in this league to reach level 41. We're level 18. So at one point we were like 4 levels behind. Now we're like 20 levels behind. So it's not great. We're nowhere near first anymore. But we were never aiming to be competitive on this, just because that requires, like actual preparation. Which I'm not. I don't want to like train, I had a friend who did, and they actually won some. Like they came first a few times. And they won some like special race rewards. If your boyfriend plays Path of Exile 2, then he'll probably know that there's like a demigods race coming up soon. At a bit of an awkward time, but it's happening soon, and you can get like a special item for being like the first person in the world to reach a certain point with your class. And my friend won one of those a few times in PoE 1, and so you get cool fancy things if you do that. But I was never anywhere near as good enough to do that at the time, because they got me into playing. I started playing kind of as a joke, but then I kind of fell in love with it, so... Oh no, messed up progression, that's fine. I'll drop that there. We'll come back for it. Excellent. Okay. Well, I think I'll probably stop streaming here because I'm gonna go and grab some food. So, thank you for joining me as we've just reached a little bit into the second act. Yeah, I'll see you guys next Thursday, where we'll discuss more games and stuff. Probably the beta, because at that point we'll be well and truly into that. Well, I hope you enjoyed this bit of random gameplay and chatting. Yeah, I'll see you guys around.